Hello everybody, welcome back to more of the Eden of Grisaia. Here we are. After receiving a letter from inside the bomb case, which Sashi successfully defused. Wasn't really a bomb, it was more of like a prank. We gotta run and give this to Michiru. What the note says, I do not know. We didn't have time to read it. We were too busy, not dying. Nearly shouting themselves hoarse, the two girls finally found the individual they were looking for. In a truly piteous state. The night before, Matsushima Michiru had gluttonously gobbled down great quantities of fried fish, and immediately after a hearty breakfast, she set off running as fast as she could. A recipe for disaster, no doubt. So it wasn't exactly surprising that she was now lying on her side by the road, steadily spewing out the contents of her stomach. Ew. Her eyes were glazed and unfocused. Her body was totally immobile. She resembled nothing so much as a beast sea mammal. Amane was standing a few feet away, gingerly poking at her with a stick, to make sure she's not dead. You. She's probably like, I don't remember eating trout. Rock love. With all the tenderness of an interrogator slapping their prisoner awake in the middle of a torture session, Makina pulled Michiru up off the ground and shoved the letter into her face. They now received their third mission of the day. Its nature was quite simple, really. The envelope contained a simple map that seemed to have been printed on a photocopier. Someone had circled part of it in a red pen and then jotted a note in the margins of the paper. In the page. Proceed to the designated location within the time you've been allotted. What is this place indeed? It's not what she asked, smart ass. Gotta love Sashi. Well, she has been sitting on the side of the road vomiting for God knows how long. Sashi was never known to be subtle in her remarks. It's that big building right behind you. Okay, calm down, calm down. Well, to be fair, rally cars are going really fast. They don't really have time to read a map when they're going really, really fast. The mountains? You get lost in the mountains, right? Probably be pretty easy. Retrieving a cover meter from the pocket of her skirt. Don't ask. Sashi began to move it along the winding road on their map. Well, that's far. Is that far? That's far, right? I'm pretty sure that's far. Their new destination was over in the next prefecture, separated by a mountain from the current location. I mean, they're in the city. It gotta be far away, right? It wasn't far from the farm that supplied eggs and chicken to the restaurant Amane's parents ran. For a while, she'd driven out there every single morning. At first, those trips had been on the restaurant's motorcycle. After getting a driver's license, she'd taken their mini truck instead. Day in and day out, rain and snow, she sped out there and back, battling the early bird street racers who used it as their personal racetrack.
まずいな。ここって電車の駅もなければ、バスも1時間に1本の山の中だよ。行くとしたら車かバイクしか。
タクシーなら間に合うんじゃ？
残り時間が50分じゃ、タクシーでも無理じゃないかな。
Given the time you'd lose to traffic signals and such, traveling 40 kilometers in 50 minutes was not easy. You'd have to be averaging about 70 kilometers per hour. She could try to head home and borrow a ride from her parents, but given their time limit, it didn't really seem too realistic. As Amane racked her brains for a better solution, a rundown store across the street happened to catch her eye. It was the used car dealership with a small sign advertising cars for rent.
そうか、借りるって手もあるな。みんな、お金いくら持ってる
？8200円ですね。
2800円。
You know Makin's gonna have like a million yen on her, right?
私は24557円。足りるかな？マキナは？
She's the rich girl.
ちょっと待ってね。
Oh man.
12万6400
Yeah.
円？
I'm only walking around like 1200
カード
bucks.
になっちゃうけど、カードは多分凍結されてるのよさ。
まあ、これだけあれば十分か。
Generally speaking, you shouldn't expect too much from a rental car. It's a temporary means of transportation, nothing more. Most places aren't going to bother lending out flashy sports cars or anything. And given the greater cost of insuring more expensive vehicles, you naturally pay more for higher performance rides. Also, when you're poking around a sleepy dealership next to the highway that's clearly run by some local landowner's second son as a tax shelter for his dad, there's really no point even hoping for something decent. As Amane looked over the various cars lined up in the lot, it was all she could do to keep from groaning in dismay. Oh god. Everywhere she turned, she saw ancient hatchbacks and coupes from 20 or 30 years ago, and they were mostly beaters in visibly poor condition.
贅沢は言ってられないのは分かってるけどさ。
Shaking her head, she turned toward the prefab hut that served as a dealership building, intending to ask if there were any functional cars they could drive off in immediately. The lone employee inside, however, appeared to be in the middle of a phone call.
はい、ちょうどお見えになられました。
After glancing briefly through the window at her face, the woman put down her phone and said, "You're still Amane, correct?"
お車の代金はすでにいただいておりますので、どれでもお好きな車をお選びください。
はい？
Wait, what?
どういうこと？
This was all planned, wasn't it?
この状況でレンタカーに目をつけるのはタナトスさんに予想されてたってこと？
Would suck if they found another way, then all that money went to waste.
予想というか、車を借りなきゃクリアできない条件を出したのはタナトスさんなんだし、最初からそう仕組まれてるって感じです。
What if they just carjacked a driver in the middle of the road or something? She didn't plan on that.
なるほどね。タナトスさんらしいというかなんというか。つーかさ、好きなの選べってのはありがたいんだけど。
None of these old cars look particularly appealing, to be honest. I mean, we're not buying it, we're just using it to get to the mountain, so does it really matter? I don't know, some of those look pretty nice, right? I like the orange one. They had plenty of mini trucks, mainly Mazda motor cabs and Nizuki garis. A number of sedans, including 4 hardtop Nissan Glodias and a Laurel H2 2000 SGX, whatever the hell that is. And a row of hatchbacks, such as the Mazda Familio XGs and non-turbo Monda City models. In other words, there wasn't a single car packing the sort of power they required.
唯一スポーツカーっぽいのはパルサーのミラの X1 か。せめて GTIR だったらな。
You could technically call the X1 a hot hatch, but this X1E variant had non-turbo OHC 16-valve 1500cc engines. Meaning it was basically a car for old ladies, of course. Still, it did have 97 horsepower, although that wasn't anything special given the car's size. Nothing else in this junkyard could really compare. But just as she was about to reluctantly select the X1, Amane sensed something slightly out of place at her side.
Hmm?
The source of this feeling seemed to be a Toyota Duet sitting next to the bolster in the hatchback corner.
あれこのデュエットもしかして
Could it be Daihatsu Notoria? Huh, I've only heard of those in legends. She had noticed at first because it was painted dark green, but it looked a bit like.
クロスフォー
Mud flaps hung loosely behind the tires. She could see a roll cage inside the passenger compartment. The back seat had been removed entirely. For speed reasons, of course. Trying to slow a racing heart, Amane circled behind the car and its rear end, found the X4 logo along with the TRS sticker of the Daihatsu Racing Service. Uh-oh, I hit a button. Oh, I hit a button. There we go. To think I'd find you in a place like this? Felt something like running into a dear old friend at a train station. Almost as if I've been waiting there for years, just for her. Overwhelmed by shock and joy, Amane braced the car with tears in her eyes. I don't know where you other girls are gonna sit because there's no back seat, but doesn't matter. Irritated by the trembling of her own hands, she hurriedly filled out the rental paperwork. By the time the woman returned her license and handed her the keys, she managed to calm down at least a little bit. The Daihatsu Notorio X4. To be certain, its endearingly round face and cheap mini-car style interior made it the very picture of an old lady vehicle, with this unassuming appearance belied its true identity, a genuine sports car boasting a 120 horsepower, twin-turbo high-boost engine and an overall weight of only 840 kilograms. In accordance with its regulations for rally racing cars, its engine displacement came in at a rather unusual 713 cc's. But an obsessive focus on keeping the car light, even the air conditioning and the audio system were optional, oh dear god, meant it had to have more than enough power. It was in short a micro monster, ideally suited to zipping along mountain roads with lots of tight corners. And its granny mobile exterior appealed to its fans who often covered the seats in white lace, to play with the wolf in sheep's clothing angle.
エンジンルームの排熱が悪いのかな水温の上がりが早い
She pressed down on the accelerator to see what would happen. The RPM rose only sluggishly, suggesting the engine's turbines were ridiculously large. The numbers kept ticking up slowly, almost as if the fuel mixture was overly rich. But as soon as the engine reached 5,000 RPMs, the tachometer needle jumped fiercely upward, and the boost gauge shot up to 2.0 kPa, whatever that means.
ドピーキーだな美味しいところは5000から8000の間かな
Fussy car, figures. With a car like this, you want to kick the clutch on even the tightest of corners. But given how lightweight it was, if you happen to bump into something while turning into the curve, God only knows where you'd end up landing. At the same time, she had to make sure not to decelerate or let the RPM needle fall too much. On the uphill curves in particular, there'd be a real danger of the engine stalling if her entry was anything less than perfect.
これ結構やばい車かもほーらチルチル車に乗るのよ私乗らない絶対乗らない胸の横にはもう絶対乗らないって決めたの別に私じゃなくてもいいでしょマキナあんたが行きなさいよそうは言ってもタナトスさんの指示は松島
Oh, really? She's the only one who can go?
だからチルチルが行かなきゃダメなのよ
Seems weird.
なんで私を指定したのよ知らん
みちる様あまりわがままをおっしゃらないでください後で好きなお菓子
子供じゃあるまいしそんな言葉に騙されないわよ
いらないんですかお菓子
She's like, of course I want it. I'm not stupid.
何買ってくれるのよ
何でもいいですよ一つだけなら何でも好きなの買ってあげます
Only one, of course.
どうでもいいけど早くしてくれる時間ないんだけどわかったわよ乗ればいいんでしょ乗れば
というわけでみちる様の快諾が得られたところで よろしくお願いします、Amane.
With this, Sashi handed over Thanatos' phone, currently displaying an analog stopwatch. The time they had remaining were displayed in a separate counter on the bottom of the screen. Amane promptly jammed it into one of the car's cup holders.
じゃあ行ってくる。ごめんね。人乗せると重くなっちゃうから。とりあえずミチルだけ連れてく。Amane、気をつけるのよ。わかってる。
Nodding to Makina, Amane reached out and started the stopwatch
タイ
timer.
マーがゼロになったらスタートするよ。ほら、ちゃんとベルトした？
What seatbelt? There are no seatbelts. They had to be removed for lightweight.
いい加減もう全部入っちゃったでしょ。時間がないのよ。最初はゆっくり行くから我慢して。
And this thing doesn't have air conditioning. Moving the short stroke shifter to put the car in first gear, Amane glanced behind her, then eased her car's round nose toward the main road outside the lot. Flipping on her turn signal, she hit the brakes on the slanting sidewalk ramp, and keeping the car in a sprinter-style leaning whole-shot stance, pushed the engine up towards 5,000 RPMs. On the verge of reaching the power band, she paused to double-check the area around her.
後方よし、前方よし、もう一度後方よし。行くよ、ミチル。ゆっくり行くんでしょ。ゆっくり行くって言ったよね。
We got like 20 minutes to get there, so...
私とミチルでゆっくりの解釈が少し違うかもしれないね。やっぱ降りる。もう遅いっての。ゼロ。
That's cute. The very instant her stopwatch finished counting on, Amane roughly engaged the clutch. The compact cross transmission let out a distinctive high-pitched whine. In less than 3 seconds, she'd burned right through first gear. When she realized the accelerator pedal and when she released the accelerator pedal and stepped on the clutch, exhaust from the turbines escaped audibly through the wastegate. Quickly moving the shift knob, she stepped down on the accelerator once again, and in no time at all, she'd blown through second gear as well. With a racing cross transmission like this one, the gap to third gear was wide, but fourth and fifth would come easily enough. And when changing gears, the engine kept moving at 7,500 RPM, allowing for steady acceleration.
軽いせいかな。なんかポコポコ跳ねちゃうけど、いいぞ、いける。下ろして。私は行きたくない。
A sheriff screamed, the engine howled, and the car rushed down the road carrying two foolishly young women in a very different states of mind. Minatos had instructed them to bring Matsushima Michiro to the designated point within the allotted time. Letting her out clearly was not an option. As the city streets flew past outside her window, all she could do was wail in distress. Avoiding traffic lights where possible, Amane steered them through a series of back roads, eventually reaching the foot of the mountain they needed to cross. There she stopped the car and got out to examine it. As soon as the vehicle came to a halt, Michiro tumbled out of it, grabbed her mouth, and began to retch once more. By now she'd fully expelled the contents of her stomach, so only acid came up her throat. Watching her unfortunate friend out of the corner of her eye, Amane squatted down next to the car and checked the condition of its tires. S-tires like these were designed for racing, but they had a nasty tendency to lose their grip entirely when they got worn out.
大丈夫。タイヤはまだ生きてる。いい感じに熱が入ってドロドロだよ。
Are tires supposed to be gooey?
そうかい。そいつはよかったわね。私の胃もドロドロだわよ。もう着いたの。何言ってんの？ここからが
Oh
本
my
番じゃない。
gosh.
嘘でしょ。もう無理。吐いても何も出ないわよ。大丈夫。吐くだけ吐いて。辛いのを通り越したら、今度はだんだん気持ちよくなってくるから。それってさ、脳がこれ以上はやばいって判断してんじゃないの。ここからならあと30分もかからないからすぐに終わるって。ほら乗ってすぐに出るよ。シルが車が
Had this girl pooped out her own brain fluid somehow? For Michiru's sake, she clearly needed to finish this as quickly as possible. Before moving into serious mode, Amane flipped the intercooler sprayer switch, hoping to lower its temperature somewhat. Generally speaking, you always want to keep your battery warm and your motor as cool as possible. Bursts of cooling help keep the air flowing into your engine stay dense, allowing for greater concentration of oxygen in the air-fuel mixture, regaining you some of the power you'd lost due to heat. That said, engines tended to return to their normal temperature within a few minutes of being cooled, so this sort of procedure was only marginally useful. But Amane always thought the acceleration felt a bit more responsive for a while afterward, so it wasn't something she could totally dismiss. After one quick final check of the car's condition, she glared at her watch. 23 minutes were left. Even for Amane, getting past this mountain in that amount of time was not going to be easy.
というわけで、ここからは本気で行くよ。本気って、じゃあ今までのは何だったの？今までっていうか、私隣に人を乗せて本気で走るのはこれが初めてだよ。
For probably very good reason.
大丈夫なの？信じてもらうしかないかな。まあホームコースだし大丈夫でしょ。
Before Amane came to Mahama, when she was helping out her family with their business, she'd always taken this exact road over the mountain to pick up eggs from a poultry farm on the other side. Back then, her best time with the restaurant's mini truck was 27 minutes and 32.07 seconds. Based on that, they just were not going to make it. But even so, behind the wheel of this car, she was definitely going to manage somehow. The X4 had been designed from the ground up to compete in complete in rally races on public. It's got to be compete, right? And for some time after its debut, nothing could compare to its power. Amane had the greatest possible confidence in it. Although it did not weigh any more than your average mini truck, it was packing an engine with some genuine horsepower. And unlike the 8-ply tires you'd find on average mini trucks, it was equipped with the road-legal S tires, ideal for high-speed maneuvering. Firmly fastening her 4-point harness and pressing her hips against the butt of her seat, Amane switched herself into time attack mode.
3、2、1、0、スタート!
Stato! Synchronizing with the countdown on her tachometer, the phone sitting on her dashboard, she waited for the second hand to hit 0, then began the race. A sudden burst of power sent them shooting forward. Some of it escaped to either side, making the X4 frames tremble and groan. As this car accelerated explosively, its 4 shallow-tread, high-performance tires tore at the road's surface. And when she turned the steering wheel, Amane sensed through her seat that its weight had shifted onto the outer rear tire. Just from the way the car moved, she could tell the exact condition of every single tire.
いいぞ、加速が戻ってる。いっけー、クラス4!
Felt as if her brain was melting, but not in a bad way. For Sue Amane, acceleration was something like a narcotic. As a baby, she'd sat on her father's knee and reveled in the speed of his car. Part of her mind associated the sound of an engine with the comfort of her mother's womb. The faster she went, the closer she felt to heaven. It was an ecstatic and oddly soothing feeling. Amane had spent a good deal of time behind the wheel of a front-heavy mini-truck with a painfully short wheelbase and very little in the way of power. But if nothing else, coping with its floppy chassis and unforgiving handling had taught her how to precisely control the distribution of weight across her tires. And of course, she'd driven this road countless times. Under all possible conditions, she knew every curve and quirk like the back of her hand. When you threw in a genuinely powerful, maneuverable car like this one, it was almost unfair to everybody else, honestly.
いいぞ、ぐいぐい登る。やっぱターボってすごいな。足もしっとりしててよく動く。無駄に硬いだけの足より姿勢が作りやすい。
The key to success lay in this early uphill section, where her technical skills could gain her a few precious seconds here and there. It would essentially decide her total time. The second half was downhill with a lot of straightaways, so the power of her car would be the only relevant factor. She had to gain as much time as she possibly could before then. After barreling through a sharp right turn at the top of third gear, she threw the car into fourth while approaching the first checkpoint, a small store that sold general goods to campers. She'd gotten through the first section more than 4 seconds ahead of her best mini-truck time. The next problem was a small jumping spot that just past the bridge over the Rigoku River. If you were going too fast when you hit that point, all 4 wheels would leave the road and you end up losing speed. Better to ease up on the throttle instead. Apart from hairpin turns, she didn't allow her tires to slide around. No reason to let any power escape to the side when it could be pushing you forward instead. By the next checkpoint, a vending machine by a local liquor store, she'd gained another 2.5 seconds, a very nice pace. She could do this. But just as Amane was throwing at the prospect of victory, the tail of another car appeared a little ways in front of her. Oh god. Look who it is. Look who it is. The vehicle in question was a Bugatti Baron. by all accounts the single most powerful super sports car in the world. As for the man driving this internationally famous machine, for the purposes of this episode, let's just give him the name Beaknose. God only knows what exactly this individual did for a living, but he routinely purchased the most powerful cars he possibly could out of a rather inane desire to arrive at his fans' parties as quickly as humanly possible, hopefully carrying a turkey of some sort. He'd only recently got his hands on the godlike, incredibly expensive monster he was currently driving. Naturally enough, he'd been on cloud 9 for weeks, and just so you know, this car is like $2 million. Like, no joke. It's crazy.
いやーなんやろなこれ乗っとるとバッキネンが来ても負ける気せえへんわやっぱ最強の車の条件言うんは価格と馬力と運転のしやすさやな
We borrow this guy's car? In short, having obtained this divine gift, the Beak-Nosed Man was totally drunk on its power, as I'm sure everyone who would drive this thing would probably be. Just a moment ago, he noticed a small family car on the road behind him. Although he was trying not to use too much gasoline or wear out his tires, the man was still moving at a very decent clip. So when he glanced in the rearview mirror and saw that unassuming little vehicle approaching, he was understandably dumbfounded.
嘘やろどっから出てきてあの車つかなんで追いついてこれんねんきしょいわよっしゃほなバイロン様の本気いうやつをちょいと見せつけたろかいな
On even the briefest of straightaways, all you had to do was press down on the accelerator and the Byron would accelerate as much as you wanted. On Japan's narrow highways, however, you couldn't really keep the accelerator all the way down for even a single second. The next corner would be right in front of you in the blink of an eye. This was an ungodly expensive car, and it had power in proportion to its cost. Beak-Nose's confidence was absolute. Certain that he left the small interloper far behind, he glanced into his mirror only to find that the distance between them had actually shrunk. He could feel the hairs on the back of his neck standing up.
嘘やんなんでやねんつかあれ何あんなんお前親戚の姉ちゃんが駅まで送ってったろかいう時に乗る車やんけ
But for some reason, every time he went around a corner, it was getting closer and closer. How could a granny mobile like that be chasing down a Baron? It didn't make the slightest damn sense.
2といえばカーといえばバイロンやぞなんでやねんな
Reality was bearing steadily down on him, but it was difficult for Beak-Nose to accept. Whenever he touched the brake pedal to approach a corner, the endearing grilled face of the X4 grew larger and larger in the rearview mirror. Its driver was taking advantage of the car's low weight to hit the brakes much later than him, more than compensating for their difference in horsepower. Beak-Nose had forgotten one crucial advantage that any motor vehicle could possess: the nimbleness of a featherweight.
嘘やバイロンやねんぞ
By smugly assuming that expensive technology could render him invincible, the man had invited his own doom. To Beak-Nose, the dark green vehicle in his rearview mirror was no longer just a car. It was a Mitsubishi A6M fighter plane on the tail of his F4U Corsair, an enemy he couldn't shake off no matter how he squirmed.
あれはゼロやゼロはまだ生きとったんや
Zero was riding his ass. For Beak-Nose, who'd grown up hearing his American grandfather's stories about his days as a fighter pilot, the thought was enough to fill him with absolute terror. A trickle of cold sweat ran down his spine in combination with the psychological pressure bearing down on him. It slowed his reaction time slightly. With the next corner approaching far too quickly, Beak-Nose hurriedly slammed on his brakes. The pedal vibrated beneath his feet as the electronic ABS activated. When he finally moved his steering wheel, the Byron obediently turned its nose inward, but it was already too late. In the very next instant, the dark green Zero had pushed its goofy little snout into the slight gap he'd left on the inside of the curve. Just as his words left Beak-Nose's mouth, he'd heard a rush of exhaust from the X4's wastegate as the driver changed gears. The sound was very, very close. Oh no, they're right next to me! We're gonna collide! The Byron had only just changed its bearing. Given its unusual body, Beak-Nose didn't have a precise sense of how much space there was between the two vehicles. The fear of a high-speed collision left his hands frozen on the wheel. Once again, he was forced to slam down on the brakes, this time even harder than before. The Baron's speedometer needle dropped rapidly. In the flash of an eye, the dark green devil slipped ruthlessly past him. It felt as if a murderous creature had lunged by with an awful smirk on its face after swinging a bloody knife at his throat. His will to fight utterly broken, Beaknose sat like a statue in his luxurious seat. Heated leather, no doubt. After a moment, he managed to swallow. The adrenaline had drained from his body, and shivers were running down his spine. His foot eased off the accelerator. Slowly and quietly, he pulled over into the shoulder. A crushing defeat. As his hands left the steering wheel, he realized they were trembling. It felt as if he just awoken from a terrible nightmare. But he knew the truth. The devilish thing, the dark green zero, was all too real. He'd met a monster and survived. His mind was full of both relief and terror. Wrapping his arms tightly around his leather steering wheel, Beaknose leaned forward and quietly wept. Matsushima Michiru, still fastened tightly into the Zero's passenger seat, had spent the entire ride staring vacantly into space with the expression of someone trying to force a sneeze. By the time she regained consciousness, the car had already come to a stop. They're here.
着いたの。地図で指示された場所ってだいたいこの辺だと思うんだけど。
Just some field. Looking at her watch, Amane found they made it with 15 seconds to spare. That said, they were currently sitting in the middle of a farm road, surrounded by fields. The only human being in sight was a farmer who seemed to be taking a stroll with her cow.
あの牛連れたおばちゃんが次のヒントくれるのよ。
No, the cow will give us the hint.
そんなまさか。ちょっと聞いてくる。
Wait.
ちょっとみちる。
Ignoring Amane's attempts to stop her, Michiru leapt out of the car and ran over the old woman.
なんて声かける気よ。松島みちるです。ヒントください。松島みちるです。そのままかーい。
Smacking the steering wheel with the back of her hand, Amane reflexively provided the obvious retort. Naturally enough, the old lady with the cow was rather taken aback as well.
案外よ、わかんねえんだけっちょもよ。誰がどう間違ってんでねえのげ。あれ？違う。どういうこと？おめあれが頭の病気が。あいや、シャエバ山の向こうにサナトリウム中のがんで、そこ行って相談しれ。
Go to the loony bin, Michiru. You need it.
まあ、キャンミの毛こんな色さなるまでバカになってしもって、お気の毒なこと。
Oh.
違います。松島バカじゃありません。松島は。
Did she really look that dumb at a glance? Was it her hair? As Michiru earnestly pondered whether to abandon the bottle blonde way of life, something in the old woman's clothing began to emit an electronic jingle.
おお、電話だな。ちょっくらごめんなんしょ。
Reaching into her breast pocket, the cow lady took out a smartphone with a stylized apple on the back.
あいや、なじゃした？
Flicking at the screen with more force than was really necessary, she pressed the phone to her ear. After a brief conversation, to which the old lady contributed only a few grunts, she turned back to stare at Michiru with a slight dubious look in her eyes.
おお、確かに小汚い黄色いのけど。松島です。松島みちるです。ほんじゃったらおめえに電話だ。
Michiru eagerly brought the old lady's phone to her ear. As expected, the voice on the other end of the line belonged to Thanatos.
おいっす。タナトスジャケットもよ。
Well, what in tarnation is this?
こんなとこに呼び出してどういうことよ。何もないじゃない。
まあ、あなたたちの機動力をテストしただけだから、目的地なんてどこでもよかったのよ。次で最後だから頑張りなさいね。
The final test. Okay, here we go.
いい？今から言うことを暗記して。
Oh, I thought the music stopped.
次の指令は、現在位置から東へ30キロの方向に東海線の東松浜駅があるから、そこに向かいなさい。
You have 10 minutes.
そんなことを言うだけのためにこんなところに呼び出したの？そんなの電話かければすぐに済む用事じゃない。なんでわざわざこんな場所に呼び出して牛のおばちゃんの電話を使うの？ おかげでちょっと恥かいたじゃないのよ。恥かいた。
だって電話だけ指定場所に送るという方法を取られたらテストの意味がないでしょ。だから現地の回線であなたの存在を確認するためにこうしたのよ。まあ電話だけを40キロ離れた場所に送ったとしてもそれはそれで評価すべき手腕だとは思うけれど今回はダメ。わかる？
わかんない。
よし、それでいい。わからないときは私の言葉だけを信じなさい。いいわね、松島みちる。あうーじゃないわよ。はいかいいえかはっきりしないのがあなたの悪い癖よ。
はいはいはいはいはい、わかったわよ。ちゃんと言う通りにすればいいんでしょ。
はい、いい子ね。じゃあ牛のおばさまにお礼を言って、次
called her
の
a
行動
pig.
に移りなさい。この豚。
今豚って言った？
言ってないわよ。
ああ、そう。空耳ならいいんだけど。
急ぎなさい、豚。
あれ、やっぱ豚って言ってるよね。
小汚い黄色い豚。
おやおや、はっきりと言っちゃってるよね。
Kosuke's kind of a bitch. The very next instant, the phone call abruptly came to an end.